Life isn't always quiet chapels and stained glass windows. Sometimes it's a noisy kitchen, boiling pots, dirty dishes, a body that aches, and a heart that quietly wonders, Lord, are you here too? As we stand at the final day of this year, tired, reflective, maybe a little weary, some of us are still carrying worries, unanswered prayers, or silent hopes into tomorrow. For Brother Lawrence, that ordinary kitchen became holy ground, not because the work was special, but because God met him there. Today, as we close this year and step toward a new one, we step into his story to discover peace in the ordinary, hope for the year ahead, and how even the simplest task can become worship. Welcome to the practice of the presence of God, the best rule of a holy life. In the bustle of 17th century Paris, within a Carmelite monastery, lived a humble cook named Nicholas Herman, known to history as Brother Lawrence. He was not a theologian or a high-ranking cleric, but a man who found the secret of a holy life amidst the clatter of pots and pans. This introduction, Brother Lawrence and the Kitchen Sanctuary, explores how a clumsy former soldier became a saint of the ordinary. Lawrence admitted he had a natural aversion to kitchen work, yet he turned his daily chores into acts of worship. He famously stated, "The time of business does not with me differ from the time of prayer, and in the noise and clatter of my kitchen, I possess God in as great tranquility as if I were upon my knees at the Blessed Sacrament." By resolving to make the love of God the end of all his actions, he transformed a noisy scullery into a sanctuary. His conversations reveal a simple truth: God is not limited to the altar. Chapter 1. The First Conversation, a Heart Conversion.
It happened one winter, looking at a tree stripped of its leaves. I realized that within a little time, the leaves would be renewed, and after that, the flowers and fruit would appear. This simple view set perfectly into my soul the providence and power of God. It detached me entirely from the world and kindled within me such a love for God that I cannot tell whether it has increased in the 40 years since.
He had been a footman and a soldier, a clumsy man by his own admission. But he resolved to give his all to God as satisfaction for his sins.
I renounced all non-essential devotions. My method is simple. I do everything for the love of God, whether flipping an egg in a pan or picking up a straw from the ground. If done for his love, it is enough. We need not worry about great works. We must only turn the cake that is frying on the pan for love of him. When finished, I bow in gratitude. Thus, I practice his presence continually, conversing with him simply and affectionately, without anxiety.
That he had always been governed by love, without selfish views, and that having resolved to make the love of God the end of all his actions, he had found reasons to be well satisfied with his method. That he was pleased when he could take up a straw from the ground for the love of God, seeking him only and nothing else, not even his gifts. He said that we ought to act with God in the greatest simplicity, speaking to him frankly and plainly, and imploring his assistance in our affairs, just as they happen. God never failed to grant it, as he had often experienced. He said that in his business, in the kitchen, having accustomed himself to do everything there for the love of God and with prayer, Upon all occasions, for his grace to do his work well, he had found everything easy during 15 years that he had been employed there. He was very well pleased with the post he was now in, but that he was as ready to quit that as the former, since he was always pleasing himself in every condition by doing little things for the love of God. In the noise of the kitchen, while people call for different things, I possess God in as great tranquility as if I were upon my knees at the Blessed Sacrament. Brother Lawrence teaches that work is a medium for prayer. We must do small things for the love of God, who regards not the greatness of the work, but the love with which it is performed. Even lifting a straw can be worship. We should not separate prayer time from work time. By offering our labor to Him, the mundane becomes sacred. The washing of dishes creates a sanctuary in the soul. Let us focus solely on pleasing Him in our occupations. In the pursuit of practicing the presence of God, our minds often wander like restless children. Brother Lawrence teaches us that we must not be troubled by these inevitable distractions, nor shall we view them as a sign of spiritual failure. Do not try to fight wandering thoughts with violence or frustration, for this only disturbs the soul further. Instead, the moment you perceive that your mind has drifted away, simply and gently bring it back to God with a tranquil heart. Accept your weakness humbly. View the distraction not as a sin, but as an immediate opportunity to choose Him again. Even if you must return your focus to Him 1,000 times in a single hour, rejoice, for you have performed 1,000 acts of love and perseverance. Trust not in your own mental discipline, but entirely in His grace to keep you close. Friends, if Brother Lawrence's simple practice is touching your heart, I invite you to subscribe now. We're exploring more timeless Christian classics that speak to everyday life, practical wisdom for modern living. Hit that subscribe button and join our community of seekers. I do not wonder that God exempts you not from sufferings, for such things are often necessary to purify the soul. We must resign ourselves entirely to the will of God, asking Him not so much to be relieved of the pain, as for the strength to endure it with courage and love. During your times of physical anguish, lift your heart to Him. View your suffering as a fire that burns away the dross of self-love. Do not seek consolation elsewhere, for God is the only true physician of souls and bodies. If He allows the vessel of the body to crack, it is often to let the light of the Spirit shine through more clearly. Let us offer our pains to Him unceasingly. When the agony is sharp, say to Him, Lord, I accept this hand that strikes, for it is the hand of a Father who loves. In this holy acceptance, pain becomes a prayer. Trust Him through the shadows. His presence is the balm that heals what medicine cannot touch. Let your suffering be the practice of His presence in the dark. We must know that God is always with us and that He will never fail us if we truly surrender to Him. Why should we fear? The soul that has given itself entirely to God finds rest. We must not be discouraged by our failures, but rise immediately and turn back to Him with love. Total surrender means accepting the present moment as His will. Whether in pain or joy, if we are with Him, we are safe. Let us cast all our cares upon Him, for He cares for us. By abandoning our own will, we find the divine peace that surpasses all understanding. Let us perform our duties and leave the rest to Him. Friends, let's pause and reflect on this beautiful journey so far. We've met Brother Lawrence, a clumsy monk with a limp who found God in kitchen work. We've learned his simple method, offering every small task in love, handling distractions gently without guilt, trusting God through suffering, and surrendering completely to His will. The pattern is clear. Holiness isn't about grand spiritual acts or escaping to a monastery. It's about constant, loving awareness of God right where you are, your kitchen, your office, your daily routine. Now, let's continue to discover how this practice transforms even our hardest moments. Chapter 7 focuses on the wisdom found in the fourth letter. Contrasting fleeting feelings with steadfast faith, Brother Lawrence advises us not to despair during times of spiritual dryness or insensibility. He warns against the trap of seeking God only for pleasant sensations, stating effectively, "Let us not seek God for His gifts, but for Himself. If we rely solely on sensible devotion, we become unstable. But if we stand on naked faith, we remain unshakable." He suggests that suffering and the absence of feeling serve to purify our love, detaching us from the creation to unite us with the Creator. He concludes that true worship continues even when the heart feels cold, for God is infinitely greater than our emotional state. Trust Him in the silence. In this profound chapter, Brother Lawrence instructs us that the path to spiritual perfection is not found in complex theological puzzles, but in the quiet simplicity of a surrendered heart. He reveals that we must approach God with the guilelessness of a child, stripping away the heavy armor of the intellect to stand naked and honest before the divine. He addresses the common struggle of human failure. When we stumble or fall into sin, Brother Lawrence advises against dwelling in excessive anxiety or guilt, noting that such turmoil is often merely pride in disguise hurt, that we are not as perfect as we imagined. Instead, he prescribes immediate humility. We must frankly confess to God, "I shall never do otherwise if you leave me to myself. It is you who must hinder my falling." After this honest confession, we must not waste time in worry, but simply resume our practice of His presence with peace. Furthermore, he warns against the wandering mind. The remedy is not force, but a gentle, persistent return to God. We must renounce our own will to allow God to work within us. By abandoning our reliance on human reasoning and cleverness, we enter a state of holy simplicity. God takes great pleasure in the soul that acknowledges its total dependence on Him. Therefore, let us not complicate our devotion with rigid rules, but love Him simply, humbly, and wholly in every passing moment. This kitchen saint approach really works, friends. Think about it. What mundane task in your life could become your altar today? Maybe it's your morning commute, your daily emails, folding laundry. Whatever it is, you can practice His presence right there. Share in the comments what your kitchen is where you're going to practice this week. Let's encourage each other on this journey. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now so you don't miss our next audiobook. We often mistake spiritual depth for emotional intensity. We look for the lightning bolt, yet God is found in the steady, quiet breeze. In this chapter, we learn that small, consistent acts of remembrance surpass sporadic bursts of religious fervor. Brother Lawrence taught that a holy life is unbuilt on days of rigorous fasting, followed by weeks of spiritual neglect. It is built in the kitchen, amidst the clatter of pots and pans. To pick up a straw from the ground for the love of God is of greater value than preaching a magnificent sermon for one's own glory. Intensity is like a firework, bright, loud, but quickly extinguished. Consistency is the hearth fire that warms the home through the long winter. Do not be discouraged if your heart does not always burn with ecstasy. Simply return your mind to Him gently when it wanders. This gentle return, practiced 1,000 times a day, forms the habit of His presence. It is the faithful rhythm of the soul, not the occasional shout, that pleases the King. Trust in the quiet accumulation of moments spent with Him. Brother Lawrence's life reached its twilight not in sorrow, but in a profound, quiet joy. Despite increasing physical pain, his spirit remained unshaken. He viewed suffering not as a punishment, but as a final fire, purifying his soul for total union with his beloved. When asked about his condition, he famously replied, "I am not dying. I am just doing what I shall do through all eternity, blessing God, praising God, adoring God, and loving Him with all my heart." In February 1691, at the age of 80, Brother Lawrence passed from this world. He died as he had lived, without fanfare, in simple, trusting silence. He left behind no great theological treatises, only a handful of letters and conversations. Yet, his legacy proves that the highest holiness is found not in complex rituals, but in the constant, loving practice of the presence of God. 7-Day Action Plan. The Kitchen Saint Challenge Friends. Brother Lawrence found sanctity not in a quiet cathedral, but amidst the noise of a kitchen. This week, bring the cloister to your commute and the altar to your office. Here's your practical roadmap. Days 1 to 2. The intentional start before starting any task: washing dishes, typing a report, or driving. Pause for 3 seconds. Whisper, "Lord, I do this for love of you." Transform the mundane into an offering. Days 3 to 4. The micro glance. While working, practice the little interior glance. You need not stop your activity. Simply turn your mind momentarily to God, acknowledging He is right there with you in the chaos. Days 5 to 6. The gentle return. When you realize you have forgotten God for hours, do not waste energy on guilt. Brother Lawrence advised to simply say, "I cannot do better without you," and return immediately to His presence. Day 7. The seamless union. Reflect on the truth that a time of business does not, with me, differ from the time of prayer. Sanctity is not doing extraordinary things, but doing ordinary things with extraordinary love. Brother Lawrence asserts that the most excellent method of holy living is the practice of the presence of God. It is a life where one performs all actions, without exception, purely for the love of God. One need not perform great deeds. Turning a cake in a pan for the love of God is as holy as receiving the sacraments. The core rule is to accustom the soul to a familiar, humble, and loving conversation with God at all times. We must act with God in the greatest simplicity, speaking to Him frankly and plainly. We must stop checking on ourselves to see if we are doing well and instead focus entirely on Him. This practice is the best rule because it is simple, applicable to everyone, and leads directly to union with God. It requires only a heart determined to apply itself to God, renouncing all else that is not Him, by keeping the mind in His holy presence. We prevent the devil from attacking us. We attain a holy freedom, and we remain continually in a state of grace. Friends, do not wait for a perfect moment or a quiet retreat to begin this holy habit. Brother Lawrence reminds us that the most profound spirituality is found in the simplest acts done with great love. You do not need to change your career or abandon your responsibilities to find God. You only need to change your heart's focus. Whether you are amidst the noise of the marketplace or the quiet of your home, make a secret place in your heart where you can speak with Him. Offer Him the smallest tasks: a cup of water given, a deadline met, a meal prepared. Say to Him, "Lord, I do this for you." If your mind wanders, do not be troubled. Gently bring it back to His presence without guilt. Perfection is not the goal. Love is. This practice is open to everyone, from the busiest worker to the quietest monk. Let us, therefore, commit to this simple rule of life. Let us make our hearts a spiritual oratory where we can retreat at any moment to worship Him. Join the practice today. Transform the ordinary into the divine, and walk with God in every breath you take. And if this message has touched your heart, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and share this audiobook with a friend who needs to hear it. Leave a comment telling us what will be your kitchen this week. We'd love to hear your journey. Until next time, may you practice His presence in all things.